Right, so I'm done with the neck. I'm done with the top stitching for the neck part. So the next thing to do now is to sew the lining and this fabric together. All right, I hope you see it. So I will use my pin to hold it down, so I'm going to use pin to hold it down to avoid the line shifting before sewing it. Like I said earlier, always use pin for your work. So after that now, I will use machine to sew it down. So this is what I'll be doing now. So I'll be sewing it now. So this is the second way of sewing it like this. So I'm going to be sewing it up to the down part. I'm using the machine to hold it down. Alright. So this is what I'll be doing all around before attaching my princess dart. Alright. So I hold this side, I cut it princess. Please try and watch the cutting so that you understand what I'm doing. Now I hold the lining and my fabric together. This side I'm going to hold it all through round to this part here, because this is the princess sign. All right. So after I hold it now with my machine, the next I will be holding now is to hold the princess that I'm going to be showing you now. So after that, the next I'll be showing now is this the princess. All right. See, I've used machine to run this straight down and hold it straight down. But well, if you know, you can hold it together, and with this princess that and this together, you can go ahead and do that just for you to get perfect work. That is why I sew it different after I join it together. Now I'm going to be taking this my princess dart now and arrange it together so that I can know what to sew. Now look at it here. This is my princess, the first side, and this is another one, the other side. I'm going to be sewing my lining and show you how to do that. Press your lining at the wrong side. Look at it now. This is the right side and this is the wrong side. I press it down with this. I hope you see it. See how I arrange it. So I'm going to run it with my machine now. I'm going to sew it. That is just machine to hold it down, sew it down, sew it down, sew it down. Alright, before touching it to this main one. So before I start sewing it, I first of all use pin to hold it down round. So I'm going to be sewing it now. So I'm going to be sewing it all the way round. So this is how I'll be sewing it to the down and to the rest of them. Now I will sew this side also. I'm just using the machine to hold it down so that when I'm fixing it to the main princess, it will not remove. But if you know you can take it at the same time, you can do that just for you to get a clean work. That is a nice perfect work. That is why I am doing it like that. So follow the curving, gently sew it. Alright, see what I'm doing? This is another way of turning your lining. Alright, so after that, I'll sew the next one before I join everything together. You see how easy it is. See, I've sewed it around. So I'm going to be sewing the second one. Remember, it's 2 pieces to make it princess dart. So I'm done with it. I'm trimming the excess, the lining that come out of the princess dart. So I trim it off. So I'm about joining it now. All right. So I've sewed it around. This is the first and this is the second one. See the lining. The same thing. This is how I did the back one. Let me show you the back part. So this is the back part. The same thing. I joined all of them. This is the neck. This is the front. This is the front. This is how the back looks like. So the same way, the way I joined my lining at the front part. That is how I did it on the my back parts. After using lining to turn it, as in turn the neck, I place it at the right side like this, at the wrong side and right side like this. I don't bother using my lining to turn my zip part. So later I'm going to use machine to weave it. But if you don't want it in that way, like the way I said it, you can use lining to turn everything together, bring it out. You don't need to start weaving it. But me, I want to weave my own inside. So I'm showing the two of them. Any one of your choice you can choose. Now I've used it to machine to run the back part. So the next I'll be doing now, I hope I've shown you everything now. The next thing is to join my princess dart. Alright, I'll be joining it with 1/2 inches. So this is how it is. So first of all, I take this one first. Alright. Make sure to notch it when you are cutting it. I show you how to notch it when I was cutting it. And look for the notching. See, you see the reason of the notching? So this is the notching of my dress. This is the notching. And this is the notch. This is the breast point. This is it here. So I'm going to be attaching it together. So when you are cutting your pattern, please make sure you notch. This notching is very, very necessary. Without you knowing where you notch, you will not know where to touch, as in where to sew. You can easily just sew anything. But with this notch, it will help you to identify your breast point. So this is my breast point because I've notched it. So it makes me to remember where it is. I notch it, I notch the lining, and I use my pin to hold it down. Alright? This notching for breast point area is very, very, very important. When you want to sew your dressing, make sure you take the two notching together. It helps a lot. So I come to this side again. This side is the underbust. You see how important this notching is? I don't need to start looking for it because I've already notched it. I just use my pin to hold it. Alright? Now you see, it is not equal. But if you do not notch it, you will find out that you will not know how to locate your breast point, underbust. So this is my underbust. This is my breast point. Now before sewing it, I'll now use my pin to hold everything upside. But if you know you can take it like that without, if you are already perfect very, very well, I can just sew it without this pin. But especially for the beginner, always go with your pin. Always use pin for your work. Alright? It makes your work to come out perfectly. Very, very neat. What matters in work is your finishing. Alright. So I will be sewing it now with 1/2 inches. I will show you how to measure it. Again, you use your tape to measure 1/2 inches. Why I use tape to measure 1/2 inches? Because it's 1/2 inches I added. I am doing this thing again because for the sake of the beginners. Use chalk to do it, to mark it, so that you will know what you're sewing. What I added for the sewing allowance was 1/2 inches. You can't go and start sewing 1/4 inch, or even for it to be very easy for you, you can remove the pin and take this 1/2 inches straight down. Alright, so that it will be easy for you. Like I said, I can remove the pin and take my 1/2 inches first before I start to pin it. So I've pinned it back. So please, when you want to sew your dress, start sewing from the damp part so that it will be equal when we are joining it. It's better it short at this armhole area here. Later you trim it off than to short at the damp parts here. Always join from the damp. So I will start to sew from this damp part here. Remember, I've measured 1/2 inches. So I'm going to be sewing my 1/2 inches now. I'm going to be sewing the 1/2 inches. I hope you're seeing it. Please, if you have any question on this work, drop your message on my comment box. I'm going to reply you there. So follow the chalk. If you know you can sew without that chalk, no problem, but for your work to be okay, follow the chalk and start to sew it round. See what I'm doing here? Use hand to arrange your work. Arrange it properly and sew your work. It's a very easy one, right? See what I'm doing here? When you get to this point, you don't need to stop. Start sewing, continue sewing it. Alright? So I'm not going to stop stitch mine. I'm going to leave it like that. See how without attaching any gum stay on it or wording, it comes that way. In fact, I don't normally attach wording on my padded or my princess dart. I always leave it like that. Unless if the person don't have a big boss, I can just add a little. But if you have normal boss, I don't normally add it. It brings out your boss, the cup, very well. Depends how you cut your padded. Cutting is the matter, not you adding any other things there. Alright, see how it brings my boss out very, very well. So the next thing I'll be doing, I'll be sewing this other side. I'll be sewing this other side of my I hope you see it, the other side of my princess. So I'll be joining it now. So for you to get it again perfectly, I use my tape to measure 1/2 inches again. Please measure this 1/2 inches. It helps a lot. I remember one of my friends like that. Each time she's making something like this, padded or princess dart, after she sew it once, she will keep on sewing, adjusting until she gets what she wants. But me, I don't sew more than once. Why? Because I always use my chalk to remove the 1/2 inches. Alright, the 1/2 inches I added. That is the reason why when I sew once, I don't need to adjust anything again. That once I'm okay with it. It helps a lot. So use chalk to measure that 1/2 inches you added. So when you want to sew, you will sew on top that 1/2 inches. So it makes work to be very, very easy for you. So I'm going to be measuring this my 1/2 inches all the way down and pin it the way I did the other side and sew it. So I've taken the 1/2 inches. So remember to start sewing from the damp parts, and I trace my notching. This is my notching again. I place it together and use pin to hold it down to avoid shifting. Now I come to my underboard. This is a very important place. If I can use pin to hold the point and hold the underboard, I don't have problem in sewing my padded. It gives me accurate as in what I cut. Alright, so see the down part is equal. It's better the down part is equal than the shoulder part, as in the armhole part short. If the armhole side short, you can easily trim it off while fixing your sleeve. So see, the down part is equal. I think you see it very well. See the other side, see this other side is very, very equal. So now I'm going to be sewing it now all the way to this my armhole side. So this is how inside looks like. So I'm going to be weaving this inside now. So I'm done with this the sewing of this princess. So the next I will be sewing now is to join the zip part. So the next is to put the back dart. I've joined the zipper side together. So the next now is for my darts. I've measured 5 inches from here, from this zip part here. I measured 5 inches. So please watch the cutting of this dress. That is that is the time I place the dart. So the dart is 5 inches. For me to get perfect dart at the back part. Now I'm going to measure from this armhole area here. From this armhole area is 12 inches. So this is 12 I will be using. I measure 12 inches from that point here, 12 inches. So this is where my dart will going to end. Remember, I'll be sewing it at the wrong side. So I will hold the 5 inches where I notch 5 inches like this. Up to there I measure 12. This is my 12. So I will measure half inches from this side. So I take ruler to make straight line. Alright, so this is where I'll be sewing now. This is where I'll be sewing now for my darts up to this side. The same thing I will do it at the other side.